Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abdullah from Freedom for All. In this video, I would try my best to explain one of the biggest contributions of Neville Goddard, which is thinking from the end. I would like to mention first that thoughts come in pattern from the channel you are tuned into unconsciously. Therefore, they don't always create your experiences. You can have thousands of thoughts a day, and not all of them would come to pass, or maybe sometimes none of them comes to pass. Neville suggested to feed the satisfaction of the fulfillment instead of feeding the hunger. You feed the hunger, which is your desire, when you let your thoughts dominate you and end up being in a state of lack, because desiring implies lack. You feed your satisfaction by imagining the feeling of already having what you desire, or to be more specific, what you formerly desired. Neville said, every desire contains its own satisfaction to be fed upon. It's entirely up to you. You may feed your hunger by thinking of your desire or feed its satisfaction by thinking from its fulfillment. To think of your desire means waiting for it to happen in future. Thinking from your desire means your desire already has come to pass. So you are already or you have already what you formerly desired. One thing I would like to add here is that you don't necessarily have to think about impressing your conscious or reasoning mind, because the moment you want your reasoning mind to be impressed, your conscious mind would look for reasons and proofs. Your conscious mind is finite and it doesn't have to know everything at once. By persisting in your assumption, your imaginal acts will become facts. Neville said, you only realize what you're thinking from. So you put yourself into the state of the wish fulfilled and think from it, and in a way that no one knows. The conscious reasoning mind doesn't know. It simply unfolds in your world and becomes a fact. Which means you don't move forward with your human mind. You are bigger than your human mind. You move forward with your pure, unbiased consciousness, which is the real you. Your imagination or consciousness is infinite. It has everything you could possibly desire. It has things that your mind doesn't even know. Neville said, we must move mentally from thinking of the end to thinking from the end. This reason could never do. By its nature, it is restricted to the evidence of the senses, but imagination, having no limitation, can. Desire exists to be gratified in the activity of imagination. Through imagination, man escapes from the limitation of the senses and the bondage of reason. Like I said, your mind is finite, your conscious mind is limited, and it may look for evidences. Your mind has limitations of the senses, and the reasons you experience in your 3D world are restricted to the evidences of senses. Through imagination, you can escape all those limitations. This is why Neville said, determined imagination, thinking from the end, is the beginning of all miracles. Knowing that your imagination is infinite, you remain persistent and faithful to your imagined act. That is determined imagination, which Neville called the beginning of all miracles in life. It is also important to know what you want. It's not that you have to be super specific, but you should know the end. And when you think of what you want, it always goes beyond you. But when you enter into the state of already having it and think from it, it's a guarantee that it is yours. Neville said, when I know what I want in this world, when I am thinking of it, it is always beyond me. When I know what I want, I enter into that state and think from it. So, no more desiring. If you're still desiring, stop it now and live in the state of already having it. Neville said, desiring is thinking of, living it is thinking from. Don't desire it, live it. I go to bed tonight desiring? No, I go to bed living it. Live it. When you live it, you will start to feel what it would be like if it was true. Neville said, what would it be like were it true that I now embody that state? How would I feel? And in response to that question would come a feeling that corresponds to that end. Learn then to think from that end. Though reason denies it, though everything denies it, you occupy that end. It's now, you're investing it, and this will become real within your world. No matter what's shown in your outer visible world, maintain the state of already having your desire. You may experience the opposite things or things that may contradict your imagined end, but your task is to faithfully dwell in the end. You would automatically find the feeling that corresponds to your imagined end and live by that feeling. Feeling is the secret of creations. Well, I'd like to conclude with one final quote of Neville Goddard, which is, when a man learns the art of thinking from the end, that man is master of his fate. For he defines his end, he formulates an aim in life, and then fills himself right into the situation of that end. So, find yourself into the situation of your imagined end. Don't be concerned with the 3D and don't be obsessed if your mind is impressed or not. Just know what you want, claim it, accept it to be true, and view the world with the feeling of what it would be like if it was true.